Just sit right back and you'll hear the tale of a faithful...
Hello all, and welcome to the Vantage Point's second video review of Hunt for the Decepticons Voyager class Seaspray. Seaspray has been one who I've been looking forward to picking up for quite some time. I think his alt mode is very creative and a good nod back to his G1 counterpart. Seaspray's alt mode is a large hover boat that looks a lot like his G1 self. It's a very nice mold. The alt mode holds itself together very tightly with a lot of panels on the side, and the texture on the blue pontoon really separates it out and makes it look very nice. His water blaster cannons on the side here come off. They fit in the usual 5mm pegs, and I'm glad they come off because they're very sensitive and have a fairly strong spring in them. So I like that. In this mode, he's got articulation in his turbines, and if you look in there, those fans can actually spin, but it's kind of hard because they are at the bottom of this little well thing. You can also see his head in the back there, but that's not actually something that I mind all that much. I thought I would, but it kind of stays pretty well hidden in the back. This platform here raises up and down, and it can tuck underneath him, but I feel that it should go up further. Instead, it stays flat at the end there and won't go up to create a tailgate. And I think that's one of the very few downsides of his vehicle mode. As a Voyager class toy, he's fairly large and can actually fit most Scout class toys in the back of his alt mode. So here we have Dune Runner, and he fits in quite nicely. He looks perfect in there. And again, my only real downside is that he can kind of roll out the back because the tailgate doesn't go up all the way, it only goes down. So, you know, he kind of gets stuck there. It has nice ridges there for wheels to kind of click into, but if you jostle him, he's still gonna fall out. He's got some very nice translucents for these big windows in the front, and has his name written on along with an Autobot symbol, and on each side of him. And I rather like how they did this. Instead of just saying Seaspray, it's CSP Ray. Like it's a boat designation instead of a robot name. Gives it a little more authenticity to the whole robots in disguise motive. So here's Seaspray along with Scout class Dune Runner and Deluxe class Smokescreen, just for size comparisons. He's a good size. At first I thought he was a little bit small, but I got over that pretty quickly. So now I'm going to transform him. So here we have Seaspray in his robot mode. He stands pretty tall. He's got his guns, and they can either peg back into the same holes that we took them out of, or he can actually hold them because his hands, though open, are 5mm pegs, so they fit quite nicely in there. And they actually have a nice little bit of detail. I used to think that they were water blasts or something, but they actually have, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but they actually have some nice harpoony looking detail in there. They're kind of shaped like a a trident or something. So yeah, and the springs are pretty powerful. They launch a good distance. Sometimes they're very trigger hairish, and sometimes they're a bit stubborn. So they vary. But anyway, I think he looks great. He's big, bulky. He's got a lot of detail to him. Now, usually I don't like white transformers or white repaints, and I know he's not a repaint, but usually I don't like white. I feel it makes them very bland, very dull. However, I think Seaspray pulls it off very nicely. I think the blue and the gold break it up enough that it looks quite nice. Seaspray has some pretty nice articulation here. He's got elbow joints, a little bit of wrist movement here, an elbow swivel, ratchets, and pegs there. I forget what it's called. I guess it's just another swivel. And he's got that for both hands. So he's got decent arm movement. He can salute. He can, point at stuff. He can do all sorts of, basic arm stuff. For legs, he's got double ratchet joints in the hips. Knees, ratcheted knees. And then he's got a lot of ankle articulation, which works quite nicely. So he has a front and back pivot. Unfortunately, it doesn't go forward any more than flat, but it's good enough. And then it moves from side to side, so you can pose him quite well. He's got a pretty good balance. Also, he has swivels and pegs in his turbines up here. So they can point over his shoulder. If you want to turn them around and face them that way, they'll do that. I personally like them with the slanted part facing up. And then he has 2 joints in his head, actually, instead of a ball joint. So he can look up and down, and that's on a peg. And then he has a swivel that lets him look left and right. So it doesn't give you full head mobility, but he can pull off quite a few good poses. Also, in the bottom of his feet, he has these little flip-out flippers that they're not very obtrusive. They actually can help with balance sometimes. And at first, when I saw these, I thought they looked kind of stupid. I'm like, oh, well, it's just a little gimmick. But actually, I think they really add to his diver motif. They look really nice, actually, in person. They are a little small and flimsy, but they really just stand out as something that a diver like Seaspray should have. So when you pose him, it really makes him look like he's swimming underwater, coming up trying to find a Decepticon to blast or something. So I really like Seaspray. I think he's definitely worth the $20 price point. I was really excited for him before he came out, and I think he was everything I had hoped he would be. His mold has a lot of character to it. He's really fun, dynamic, really detailed, and I definitely suggest him. I think it's a wonderful figure, and hopefully Hasbro will continue to make really good ones like these. So that's Hunt for the Decepticons, Transformers, Seaspray. This has been Static Wings from the Vantage Point. Come on by, read our reviews, or you can follow us at Twitter, me at StaticWings19, and the site at Vantage Point Web, VantagePointweb. We look forward to hearing from you.